Hey everybody, John here, your remote CPA. I just want to do a quick video talking about our integration with Bill.com and expectations between what we do and what you do as the client. So Bill.com is our preferred payables processing system, and I'm logged in here on the Get Started screen in a demo company. So obviously there's no live client data at all. And depending on your package with Remote CPA, that will determine what your responsibilities are as the client versus what our responsibilities are as your accounting firm. So if you are on our CFO package, we will get in here and we will enter all of your AP invoices. We will do all of the coding for you, and we just submit everything for your approval. And once you get prompted in the Bill.com email to approve the invoices, you go in. Please look at them carefully, look at the images of the bills that are in there. Double check the accounts and classes if you use classes. Double check as many details as you can just to make sure it's what you expected. And also think about if there's a possibility that this has already been paid. That's one of my biggest fears. And then as a CFO client, you just hit approve, and then we get notified that your approval came through, and then we come back after you and we schedule the payment, and all is well. Your approval is documented with that bill. If you are one of our analyst clients, which is the middle package, depending on the volume, we have a certain number of bills that we can enter in Bill.com for you on a monthly basis. So if for some reason it becomes extremely high volume, then we'll have a conversation about, hey, maybe we need to have a different arrangement here. It's usually in the 10 to 15 per month range that we can do for you on the analyst plan. And then if you are on the bookkeeper plan, we actually don't have any capacity to do payables for you, but we can make Bill.com available to you so that you can handle it all on your own, and we can make it super straightforward. So let's explore that scenario. If you are on the bookkeeper plan, all you have to do is come in here, and there's a couple different ways that you can add bills, but you almost always have to add a bill from an actual document. So this is a test document. They uploaded this PDF. So you can click the upload button over here and pull things right from your computer, or you can actually just drag and drop things right on the screen and it will automatically upload for you. There's a couple different views for the inbox. Over here you can click these 4 squares and it changes it to a little bit of a different view, and Bill.com tries to be really helpful with guessing what we're going to enter. So then you need to click enter bill, and Bill.com is actually going to read the bill for you, and you can see it creates these green ovals around the data that it takes. So in this case, it looks like it came up with Fix It Consulting, so it identified that vendor, but it also is suggesting other vendors that might be in the network. So that's another advantage of Bill.com. They have this huge network of people who are already registered, and it suggests people that might be the same person, but in this case, we don't have anyone named Fix It Consulting. I just ask that if you do connect instantly with any of these people in the network, be very careful. Make sure you validate who they are, because once your funds are sent, there's not really much you can do to get them back if they go to the wrong person. But even if you can't find someone in the vendor network, you can add a new vendor, and in here, normally it requires an address and the vendor email, and it automatically has this box checked to invite the vendor to receive e-payments. So this means that you can send them electronic ACH payments, which is a lower fee for you to send payments, which is great. You don't have to worry about them getting lost in the mail. or whatnot. And you can choose, you have to choose the business type. If you choose business, you can put in the account number with the vendor if you have one. And you can, right here, you can select whether or not they're a 1099 vendor, and then you can put in the tax ID right here. And then you can say add vendor. Oh, there we go. And then it automatically pulled the invoice number, the payment term. It's going to assume due upon receipt, but you can update that. It's got the amount. And then as a bookkeeper client, all you have to do is choose the account, either ask my accountant or uncategorized expense if you don't know what it goes to. And then the approvers, you can have multiple approvers. In this test account, we only have one, but I'm going to select myself. Oh, and then that's when the second one pops up. And then when you hit save and close, I will be prompted, or whoever is on that approval list will be prompted to log in and make that approval. Now the emails won't go right away because it assumes that you're going to be paying multiple, or you're going to be submitting multiple invoices per day for approval. So most people have a once a day email that goes out around 4 a.m. So in this case, my Bill.com reminders would come in 4 a.m. tomorrow, and then I would see it. I would know that I need to approve it. Obviously, if you need approval faster, you can, go a different route as far as maybe emailing someone directly and letting them know that they need to approve something. A few other notes about Bill.com overall. There's a to-do list up here. It tells you your urgent items. When it is time to pay things, I recommend coming over here on the left. It says bills, going to unpaid bills, and then you can look at filters for what we really want are the ones that are approved. And so if there were a list of bills in here, you click the checkbox, there can be multiple, and you can say review and pay. You can pay them all at once. You can select the date that they're going to get paid on. You can make sure that your bank account is right. We have lots of clients who have multiple bank accounts, so double check to make sure that it's getting paid from the bank account. You have the ability to set a default bank account in your settings. I highly recommend checking out the settings. You can change things like your profile, your bank accounts, but also how often you get emails. So let's see, email. Yeah, so email preferences. So this will change how often you get those email reminders to pay something. So that's an overall very basic intro to Bill.com and the way that we use it. Obviously, there's a ton of tutorials on Bill.com with their support. There's usually multiple ways to get to something. So, I went through the example of adding something from the inbox as a payable, but you could also come up here to this actions tab. You can also drop things into the inbox. Say, for example, someone submits 2 different documents and they belong to the same bill that needs to be paid. You can click a drop down in here and add to recent. You can add it to one of the recent invoices that you've already entered. Another cool feature is if you just type in the vendor's name in the search tab, it usually takes you right to that vendor, so you can see the recent transactions with that vendor, and you can double check to make sure that you haven't already paid the invoice. Bill.com is really helpful if a duplicate bill comes in with the same invoice number. It's usually going to alert you, but obviously always try to be on your due diligence and make sure that you're not double paying things. And Bill.com has a whole other side of it that we really don't use that much, but it is for receivables. So you can actually use it to collect money from your customers. So it's something there. We don't really see it be used very often. Bill.com's biggest strength for us and our clients is the payables feature. So I hope you find this helpful, and please let me know if you have questions.